How did God create kinds, higher taxa, in the biosphere? Here, we address how new kinds come into existence from a perspective that combines scientific observations with a theistic view. I'd like to start by clarifying that when discussing kinds, distinct types of organisms, I mean biological categories corresponding to distinct taxonomic families and above. Evidence for microevolution and low-level macroevolution. Scientific evidence supports microevolution, adaptation within species genus taxonomic families, and limited low-level macroevolution, low-level speciation within a genus or family. Adaptations that benefit survival, like coat thickness in cold climates or beak shape among birds, occur through natural selection and genetic variation within a species. However, the scientific evidence shows that naturalistic mechanisms cannot produce entirely new, complex body plans, e.g., mammals, birds, or insects with distinct organs and biological structures, through random mutation and selection. The challenge of naturalistic mega-evolution. Scientific limitations appear when explaining large-scale changes, like the leap from a single-celled organism to multicellular organisms with specialized organs. Naturalistic mega-evolution, which suggests random mutations and selection could produce complex structures like an elephant's trunk or the specialized brain structures found in mammals, does not align with observed evidence. For instance, the formation of complex specified information, CSI, such as the instructions encoded within DNA for novel structures, poses a substantial defeater for theories relying solely on random mutation and selection. Genetic information is highly organized, with orphan genes and irreducibly complex nanomachines, like ATP synthase or the bacterial flagellum, presenting functions that cannot be incrementally built by random, undirected changes. Intelligent design is a necessary factor. Intelligent design, ID, provides a better and more rational framework for how these complex structures could arise. In ID, the intelligent cause is not limited by chance or natural selection. Instead, it can generate the CSI necessary for the functional, irreducibly complex systems we observe in higher organisms. ID proposed that a designer, in this case, God, could directly implement complex genetic instructions, creating new kinds that do not arise gradually from ancestral kinds. This could explain the sudden appearance of complex forms in the fossil record, as seen with the Cambrian explosion, where numerous new body plans emerge without gradual, intermediary fossils. God's modes of creation. Based on a Christian theological background, several modes of creation are possible, allowing for a scientifically informed yet theistically guided process with intelligent design interventions at specific points in time, to create the root species of each higher taxon. 1. Creation ex nihilo. God has the ability to create matter and energy from nothing, as seen in the creation of the universe itself. 1. This principle could apply to the origin of fundamental materials required for life. 2. Modification of existing matter. God can take existing biological structures and modify them directly at the molecular level, just as Jesus transformed water into wine. 3. Direct manipulation of genetic material. God can introduce new genetic information through specific modifications to DNA, orchestrating particular mutations or even directly creating sequences required for an organism like the elephant. 3. This can produce organisms with entirely new traits. 4. Precise mutational guidance. God can guide mutations at an atomic level, ensuring that specific changes occur in DNA. 4. Even secular models like hopeful monsters have entertained this concept. 4. While such models are improbable under purely naturalistic mechanisms, guided intervention make them viable. 5. Influencing environmental factors. God can control cosmic rays or other environmental factors that cause mutations, precisely influencing genetic outcomes. 5. This precise interaction can explain the unique emergence of new kinds, higher taxa, suddenly in the fossil record. 5. Through any combination of these mechanisms, God can create entirely new organisms that fit into a coherent design, consistent with biological needs, physical environments, and ecosystem roles. These kinds would reflect new genetic and morphological design blueprints, distinct from those seen in other organisms, while still maintaining general structural similarities with previous taxa, i.e., vertebrates share spinal structures. The elephant example. When we consider the elephant, its unique design, including its muscular trunk, high brain volume, and sophisticated social structures, requires significant CSI and irreducible complexity, elements that purely random evolutionary processes cannot create. The fossil record indicates that certain mammalian families, like proboscideans, which include elephants, have distinctive traits that appear fully formed rather than through a gradual accumulation of features. These traits, so specific and coordinated, point to intentional design rather than the slow accumulation of functional changes. Addressing the dust analogy. The Genesis account of creation is often interpreted symbolically by theistic scientists, not as a description of physical process but as theological truth, that God is the ultimate creator of life. The phrase, made from dust, can be understood to mean that living organisms are formed from earthly elements, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, etc., under God's creative power. The first elephant, according to this view, was not a chance assembly of atoms but an organism intentionally formed by a designer, imbued with the precise molecular structures required for its unique anatomy and function. This aligns with scientific observations of the chemical basis of life without conflicting with the theological principle of intentional creation. Conclusion. The emergence of new kinds can thus be seen as a blend of natural processes, divine guidance, and divine intervention at the formation of the root species for each of the higher taxa, kingdom, phylum, class, order. Intelligent intervention provides a framework for understanding the origins of complex life forms, circumventing the empirical impossibilities that arise from relying exclusively on random mutation and natural selection. Higher taxa, including mammals like elephants, reflect the intentional design and intricate planning that only an intelligent cause can provide. This approach satisfies the evidence for adaptation within limits and addresses the sudden appearance of complex, highly integrated structures and the sudden appearance of higher taxa in life's history. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and comment below if you agree or would like to add your thoughts. If you would like me to respond to your comment, please make a level 1 comment directly below the video. I will respond to all polite level 1 comments even if it takes me a while, due to other commitments.